coming in this, what I can say, it's almost a delusion. We are very, very happy to present, the legacy of Guru Gopinath. Why Guru Gopinath and how did it happen? I think I posted on FB that for me it's a personal journey, which it was a childhood journey that I had, got his legacy from one of his senior most students, Balakrishna Menanda, as we used to call him, and for years. And he was teaching here in CLT from when CLT started. Shomila Tagore has learned with him. Munidi, Alokananda Roy, just to name a few. Shomila Vishas, Shruti, all of us, we were all from CLT. And we all learned with him. Then, of course, I went into Mohiniyattam. Even when I was doing Mohiniyattam, especially when I went to Kerala, what really struck me was firstly the stance, what I did. It wasn't this. Kerala to Kalyani, that one. This is what I had learned. Same one. I knew his wife was the first student. What we had learned early years in with Tankwaniat. Also, there was, we didn't really go through a system of arrows or anything. A lot of it was like this, right?
Yes.
When we learned.
Yeah.
And we learned those old items, and I'm so sad that I forgot the Sami Ninde Namidara Varnam today. And the Cholkar movements that we learned. We had something like this in Cholkar. And that is what we learned also with Balakrishna. So, those things. And then looking at a lot of dance that came later. Actually, what triggered this was somebody asked me to write about Mohiniyattam and Bengal and all. This is the book that is, Maithili and Kavya. So for there, that is when all this, resurfaced. And with the study, I said, I knew that Kalyani Amma was here. And what Shanti Dev Ghosh has written, saying that she taught Tal Nritya.
If I can
not
interrupt you.
Sure.
Kalyani Amma was the teacher of
Tankwani Gopinath. So that's the thing. So that's what I was telling.
She was the first teacher in Kerala. And Tankwani Gopinath was the first.
And then, of course, how Guru Gopinath was here, how a lot, all the Tagore dance. And then the genius of this man. So, I will not equate him to classical or, that kind of contemporary. He should be in the platform like Darshankar. People like it. Yes. So, that is when I said, look, the legacy, yes, we will today present it as it was, as learned by Mona when she went. And, whatever I also remember from my learning, I remember only one small Kalashon that I did. So, all that kind of triggered and said, look, a lot of what we see as Mohiniyattam today is reconstructed, developed movements. So why can't we? Or no? Thank you. Ashok. Later, what about Guru Gopinath? why I started and all that. So that is how, and I will talk about it again later after you see the the tutorials. I will ask Kapati auntie, who was a student of Guru Gopinath, to talk about Guru Gopinath.
Actually, Guru Gopinath is a personality who is larger than life. To me, to me, he's like a God. And it is from him that I have imbibed my lifestyle. His humility and his liberalism, his humility and liberalism are the two invaluable qualities that I have tried to emulate through my life, but haven't succeeded very well. So when I walked into Natanam in Madras, now called Chennai, I was 8 years old. That was in 1950. Though I don't want to reveal my age, but here I am forced to. So as an 8-year-old, when I stepped into Natanam, little did I realize that I was entering the portals of a school of Natanam, which was founded by someone who was trying to revive dance, who was responsible for the revival of dance. In 1950 means India had just become independent. So it was that year I entered. And he's a personality who is larger than life. In fact, he made history as a contemporary dancer. Many a great dancer have benefited from Guru Gopinath's greatness. Natanam in Madras was a happening thing, and lots of dancers found a foothold over there. I'm not going to lengthen my speech by saying who these dancers are. I just named the three film stars many film stars were with him. And the three Travancore sisters, Lalita, Padmini, Ragini, they were taught by him before they learned Bharatanatyam and other dance forms. And it is he who was instrumental in introducing them to Uday Shankar, where they also took part in his film Kalpana. And by the way, Kalpana was filmed in Madras those days. My growing up years in Natanam, where all newcomers were taught by Tangumani Gopinath. So we had to go to her class. Soft that she was to everybody concerned, but to me and to the other students, she was a stickler for perfection. And we really had problem under her. And not problem, we had to work hard, and that did pay later in life. We had to practice the steps, we had to practice the neck movements and also the eyebrow movements, and all along have a divine smile on our face. So that bit was very tough, having a divine smile. Only later did I realize that as a Mohiniyattam dancer, she knew the correct points of what a Mohiniyattam dancer should be. A Mohini chants, she doesn't, and so only then I realized, am I right? You're a Mohiniyattam dancer. Anyway, so 2 years we went through rigorous treatment under her. By the way, Tangumani Gopinath was the student of Malkada, the Kalyani Amma, who later came to Shantiniketan. But because she didn't know any other language other than Malayalam, it was very difficult. So she spent a very short time over there. So when Balathu Narayana Menon wanted to revive Mohiniyattam. And along with Mukunda Raja, they went looking for a teacher and they found Mandara again. But they could not find a student. And so there was no student, a teacher was there. Tangamani's parents lived, was a tenant of Mukunda Raja. And so she was a very beautiful girl. And so Mukunda Raja went and requested the parents to let her learn. So that's how she came to Kerala Kalamatala. And my guru, at that time, when Vallathol Natanam started Mohiniyattam classes in Kerala Kalamatala, he was in Bombay dancing with Ragini Devi. When he heard about the beautiful Tangamani learning to dance, he hadn't seen her ever. He only heard about her beauty. He made up his mind then and there to marry her. So, even without seeing her. So anyway, Tangamani taught us, teacher, we called her teacher. In Malayalam, we called her teacher there. So I don't know, the Malayalis will tell me whether we were wrong or not. We called her teacher, and Guruji was called Master Ji. So at the end of 2 years, she told us one day, so you can run there. So I remember my classmates, Maya, Sati and myself, we ran. It was just a little away to Guruji's class who was waiting for us. And those days, as you know, children were to be seen and not to be heard. So it was a very joyful run, and in a very happy mood, we went and stood in front of our Guru, looking at him with a lot of expectations. He was also strict, and but the way we had learned from Tangamani, we hadn't learned any dance as such. We had learned only steps and shaking of our necks and expressions and all that. So Guru Gopinath had no problem in fabricating the dance. Beautiful piece. I learned under him. We all learned under him. Deepa Aradhana, then Puja dance, then Sari, Peacock dance, then Samavarna, Abhinaya and Swarajati. And I can go on naming. Number of them we learned, and we had to, and our dance classes were not for 1 hour. It was supposedly for 2 hours, but it went on for 2.5 hours or more sometimes. And we had to do it properly. If we went wrong anywhere, he got so angry, he grinded his teeth and threw the stick. But he was careful to see that the stick doesn't hit us. So we had to pick up the stick and give it to him. So that was our duty. So that's how we learned. And after classes, he didn't allow us to just go out of the classroom. We had to sit quietly while the others were learning, the older women who were learning, older girls and boys. And we had to sit there at least for 10-15 minutes. Then he will tell us, go to the kitchen, have jeera. Jeera is with jeera with water, and we had to quietly go and drink one sip and then drink as much as we need to. And we were not allowed to sit in between dances, nor were we allowed to go into dance class without water, as they do nowadays. After every step they drink a sip, we were not allowed to do that. So that's how our classes went. And then I remember the first time we performed, I performed in a group that was Deeparadhana and Puja dance. And what was her dress like? Dress was yellow taffeta, pavade skirt, long skirt, and green velvet gloves. And Guru Tangamani teacher did our makeup. That night, I did not want to remove my makeup. I wanted to go to bed like that. Anyway, so that was our dance classes, and there were never-ending programs all over Madras, outside Madras, and it was happy times. Sometimes my guru would come to our house, driving his own green Modis Minor car, and he would stand near the gates and shout in his stentorian voice, call out my name. And I just had to go and sit in the car. There was a program, so I had to, whenever there was a program, not whenever, when he did not inform us. So he would take us to the hall, straight to the green room. Some of us didn't even know what are the dances we were going to perform, because you will be amazed to know that we never had rehearsals before a program. There were no rehearsals. We just had to perform whatever. It was a daily class. Except for the dance dramas, they had rehearsals. But for the regular dances, we never had any rehearsal. So we had to look into the printed matter to see which are the items that we had to dance. And then we'll find the dresses arranged very well, and we had to accordingly dress up and go to the stage whenever our item was. I remember once when we were doing Purapat, myself and another girl called Natanam. Now my face is big, and so you can imagine Guruji had kept two, that Krishna, the good there, Mukundam, and we had to wear. I was never very aware of my dressing. So Madhavi came and took the bigger crown, and she wore it, and the smaller crown was left for me. They made me wear it, and as soon as I did this, the crown went like that. And Guruji was standing near the wings and seeing what's happening. Immediately he ordered the screen to be put down. And that was in one of the towns near Madras. I think it was Kumbakonam or some such place. So the stage was erected. It was not a regular stage. And you know how they have those wooden staircases put there, and only one person can go at a time. And so once the screen was dropped, he walked in and he was grinding his teeth, and he caught the two of us, and we were hanging, and he got down the stairs and he took out the crown and changed it. We were so frightened that we didn't say anything, and then we never said anything when he was talking to us. And then the dance started. So that was our guru. And also for other dances like Krishna Upadesham, Gita Upadesham, where Krishna was telling Arjuna why he has to fight this righteous war. And there were lots of, behind the stage, lots of bells and other things were kept in line. And so we just had to, as soon as the war starts, when Arjuna gets up to fight, then all those war sounds, some gongs and all had to be played. So suppose we had a dance. Before that, we ran for those, whoever could get hold of one. And so just waiting for the war to start, and we would start this. So we would start playing those things. Another thing we did very often was Sita Haranam. And in Sita Haranam, Sita was Hanuman and he was Hanuman. And I don't know what he did. He made a top perch near the door and he jumped from there. And so Sita, when he spoke to Sita and all that happened. And then later, when Ravana came and was telling her to marry him, and she had long stresses, and Ravana was here and she is here. She will not look at him. Very stylized way she'll stand. And she will, whatever delivery she has to make, she will make with her full personality. Tell him that he has to go and not nurture ideas of marrying her. And then it would be dense dark night, and all those, what shall I say, Rakshasis would come, try to frighten her. And all those Rakshasi faces and those kurtas would be there, arranged properly. We will make a beeline for it, all of us who were children, and whatever mask we could get, we will wear, enter the stage and try to frighten Sita. So we really had a grand time during his performances. Then we also went out on tours. I especially remember the tour we had for Mother Pondicherry Mother's 80th birthday. By then I was a teenager, and we really had a grand time there. And Mother's 80th birthday, she gave us all small gold medals, which I'm still wearing here. And I always wear it. So I got it from her when I think I must have been 13 or something. I have to calculate and find out how old I was then in her 80th birthday. And Guruji got the same thing, big one. And then I remember the trips we had to Thiruvananthapuram, Vilai and all those places, and we gelled as a group. We went by train, and the journey was really very, very not helpful, very enjoyable, I can say. And we had the Nightingales who sang for us for all our programs. Sita Lakshmi, the two sisters, they had beautiful voices. And then there was this film star, Tamil film star Madurai Devi, who danced in this. She was very beautiful, and she was in all the dance dramas. And Asmin, who was coming up. So, and all the other dancers, I don't remember all the names now at this stage. And it was really a good time we used to have. Now, Guruji came to Shantiniketan at his invitation, at Rabindranath Tagore's invitation. It was he who invited him, because he had heard about his dance in Bombay and in Benares and in Kharagpur and all those places. So Shantidev Ghosh advised him to invite Guru Gopinath. So Guru Gopinath went with Ragini Devi to Shantiniketan. And the first 2 days they performed only single solo items. And then they stayed there for 4 days. On the 4th day, 3rd day I think, Rabindranath Tagore told him that at that point Guruji did not know proper English. So he was demonstrating, and Ragini Devi, who was an American lady, I think her name was Esther Luella Sherman, it was she who was telling what is what, and so explaining whatever was demonstrated. And so he said, Rabindranath Tagore told them that they have to perform a Kathakali item. So they had not gone prepared to perform a Kathakali item. However, they did. What did Guruji do? He made some paper things to put here and some paints and all, and it looked like a Kathakali makeup. And this one, Ragini Devi was Sita. They did Sita Apahara. And as they were doing Sita Apahara, this Ragini Devi's daughter Indrani was there. She was a baby. So she was sitting with the audience. And so was Indira Gandhi, our Prime Minister, who was also a student in Shantiniketan in those days, along with others. And they were all watching. As soon as Ravana, he tried to take away Sita, Indrani started crying loudly. Why was her mother treated so badly? What is Guru Gopinath doing over there on the stage? So anyway, and Rabindranath Tagore himself had to carry her and pacify her. So that was it. Anyway, So that was the Shantiniketan chapter, where nobody from Kerala had before that visited. And subsequently, of course, in the 40s, in the late 30s, or in 1940, before the death of Rabindranath Tagore in 1941, poet Kalathol himself had gone there just to meet Rabindranath Tagore. So that was the Shantiniketan chapter. Now, I think your 10 minutes are over. I think I should stop talking. And I would like to tell you, he wanted to die while performing. And on the 9th of October 1987, he was performing in Ernakulam. He was performing Ramayana. And in that, he was, as Dasharatha, he was bidding farewell to Rama. And so natural was his acting while bidding farewell that he had a heart attack and he passed away while performing on the stage. So his wish was fulfilled, more than fulfilled. That's how the great person Gopinath. This is quote, Mr. Gopinath writes Rabindranath Tagore. Mr. Gopinath is a real artist, and I'm sure that there are not many who could rightfully take their place by his side, either in India or abroad. He brought to my mind glimpses of the great past, when dance was not looked down upon, when dancing was one of the most treasured arts in India, and not as today, a mere device for whetting the jaded appetite of the idle rich. His presence in our midst was a pleasure. And now that dancing has again come into vogue amongst us, his style should give us a correct lead, for in want of it, we are still groping in the dark. Unquote. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your patience.
Fortunate enough to go to Trivandrum and
You still got that?
I have always heard about Guru Gopinath from Kapati Auntie and Yudhashti talk about Vedanta all the time. So I was fortunate to go to Trivandrum this June, May end, and learn basic steps which were called as Chudu. So even he had created a new way of Namaskaram, and then he created Chudu of the basic steps in Aditalam, which is a cycle of 8 beats, Rupakatalam, cycle of 6 beats, Triputatalam, cycle of 7 beats, and Jampatalam, cycle of 10 beats. So the students will be demonstrating. Kitadaki bees, tam 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 tam. Kitadaki bees, game us, game. Tom 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 tom. Tam. Kitadaki bees, tam. Kitadaki bees, say the female characters would finish like this and the male characters would finish like that. Okay, so we first go through the Aditalam Chudagal. So Aditalam, he composed Madhyavarti Aditalam Chud, means Madhyavarti means on spot, standing in the middle, and Parshvavarti, moving to the side. So first we will do Madhyavarti Chudagal, and in that also he has distinguished between Tandavam and Lasyam. So we are starting with the Tandavam. Ta, 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 ti, ta, 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 ti, ta. Hath kache rakho. Ta, ta, ti, ta, ta. Ti, ta. Again, this is a Tandavam. Kida, 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 again please. Kida, 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 kida. Now we move on to the last year. Hitta, 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 now Tandavam. Hitta, 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 hitta. Left hand in high dola. Hitta, 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 hitta. Faster. Hitta, 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 hitta. Now we move to the last year. Now last year. This was the Madhyavarti, where they did the shoulder is on spot. Now we move to the Parshvavarti, means where there is sideways movement, and that also has been divided into Tandava. So we start with the Tandava. Vaitari means the bone, the soul cutter, the syllables, but the last year. Now we have the Tandava with the same Vaitari. Next one. Ta 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 ti ti ti. Ta 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 ti ti ti. Ta 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 ti ti ti. Ta 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 ti ti. Ta 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 ti ti ti. Ta 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 ti ti ti. Ta. One more from Gopinath. Ta ti da ta ti da ta ti da ta ti da. Now we go to Tripuratalam. Tripuratalam, as you all know, cycle of 7 beats. The first one is Gita, Gita, Te. Gita, Gita, Te. Gita, creating so many students and so many it's amazing. No wonder it's called Gopinath. Now we go with Jampa students. Jampa is cycle of 10 beats. Ta tin ta ta ti da ti 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 da ti ta tin ta ta ti da ti ti da ti ta
Okay. Before they finish, I will just show as a choreography as a child. Say the same thing.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, start.
Dance drama. They have also done this in the same dance drama. The same thing.
Okay.
And they've also done this.
And Jampatalam, one more choda from Jampatalam. Ti, 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 each and every student had to do all the 4 speeds in all the chodas. So that's why I suppose you had classes for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, 4 speeds, and at the end of each step,
Yes.
we had to do the Gopinath.
Okay.
Yes, we are
So
going to come.
we are coming to that. Well, as you all know, Tirmana means Tihai. So Tihai is done 3 times. So Aditalam, they used to put Aditalam like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So normally when we say 1 Avartanam, when we say 1/4 Avartanam, it would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 and 8 would have been 1/4 of the Avartanam, right? Kala Avartanam. But then I was wondering, why did he use 2 Avartanams? Because it would have been too difficult to do it. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would have been too fast to do the movement. That is why he used 2 Avartanams. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. That. I'm sure that was the reason. Otherwise, I mean, yes. 3, 4 is the first part, second part, third part, and then that's the last part. So we'll be just showing only the Kala Avartanam Tirmanas. 1. That deem. Second one, deem. Next one, now half avartana means after 1 avartana is over, 5, 6, 7, 8, tattim takkinto. Okay? Tattim takkinto. Again, same Vaitari. Next one. These are just few of the Aditalam Tirmanas. Like that, he has composed Tirmanas for Upatalam, Jampatalam, Ekmatalam, which of course I couldn't learn because I was there only for 3 days. And what he would tell the students is, he would tell them to combine a chodal and finish with a Kala Avartanam Tirmana or a Are Avartanam Tirmana. Kal means 1/4, Are means half. So, Srirada, could you show me one chodal? With a Kala Srijoyini, that Kala Avartanam Tirmana. Demonstrate it with the hand and then show it, please.
So I am doing one Madhyavarti Chodal.
One is doing a Madhyavarti chodal, means on spot. Okay.
And it's in classes.
Last year. Okay. One, two,
tat ti 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 teyam tat tat tatim takem tom tatim takem tom tatim takem tom.
You say the right way yourself. 1, 2, 3, start.
Ti ti teyam tat tat ti 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 teyam tat tat
One, two, three, start. And so on. Then you would make them do with the Vaitari, and then you would again sing the swaram like sa re ga ma, so that the children become familiar with music also. So just demonstrate one. Just from aqua correct. Three. Start. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Arekba. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now the Vaitari is now the sargam gone through. I wish I had been there then. Okay, so we have finished with the now. Then Guru Gopinath has composed, I told you, 210 items. So of which I learned one small one called Vasantotsavam. It was written by V. Krishnan Thambi in the year 1935. Guru Gopinath composed this dance in 1935 when he was around 26 years old.
No, he got married when he was 26.
Okay, when they came to her.
When he actually he became a palace dancer.
Okay.
That is Chittira Thirugal. And Gauri Lakshmi Bai, Amma Maharani. They liked his dance so much that they asked him to come and open the school in Thiruvananthapuram.
Okay.
And there, Guru Gopinath's maternal uncle's house was there, a huge mansion. So to start with, he started staying there, and this Krishnan Thambi was his maternal uncle.
Oh, and he wrote this song.
He wrote this song, and not only that, he wrote this song and he put it to tune, and he wanted to call it Vasanta Utsavam, and he wanted his niece Natanam to dance.
And to present at the palace.
No, not at the palace. Presented in their house itself, which was a huge mansion. They had a hall. So there she performed for the first time. Later, of course, everyone saw it, and that was in Kerala. That is his style. The name didn't come.
Okay. Wow.
And there is this iconic where, she's kind of standing like this picture. That's the way she picture. No, listen, no. So, a lot of the steps that you saw modified a little can be seen today in a lot of the Tagore dances. So I shared a clip of, iconic Justi Chakshakar doing Moti Puja. And so this was the dance step, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the whole composition that was done, I later read in Shanti Dev's Ghosh's book that Moti Puja was composed with Guru Gopinath and Shanti Dev Ghosh together.
I can tell you one thing. He composed Moti Puja in the year 1961 during Tagore's centenary. And because I was the only Bengali girl in his class, he chose me as Srimati. And so we did it during 1961. It was the centenary year of Rabindranath. That's when he had composed Moti Puja. That was his tribute to the great poet.
So those are there, steps like it's, it's not exactly done the way they're doing, but things like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, all used. These are things which has been, brought into all the dances. This, so one Utul Prasad, I remember very well learning, I know aji passion mori. So all the dancers have just kind of seeped into a lot of the dances that is done today in Calcutta. And when I was asked and really started going back, I realized that apart from Kerala, you know, Bengal was the other place where the Kerala arts flourished. And Kathakali was actually in a university before anywhere else. It was in Vishwabharati, which came into a university. Things like, you know, Tagore dancers use this. Very, very typical dance forms. So, such a lot of, and you know, with O Kalyani Amma spending 2 years, I think, not 3 years, not full 3 years.
Very
Short time, 2 years. That was there in Shanti So, after Tankamani Amma got married and there was no student, that is when Tagore told Valluko Narayanan, send her here. So she was in Shantiniketan for 2 years. Now, when I look back today, Menanda, and there was the other form that was very prevalent was Manipur. You know, and who used Mandiras. So I feel that maybe with that, but the vocabulary was Kerala. The Mandira was yes, brought in. And I think Kapati auntie also can say about the Mandira.
Actually, this Rabindranath Tagore had gone to a village in Saurashtra. And there in that village, he had seen families after families doing the Mandira dance. And there was a singer and there was a dholak player. And they would do the Mandira dance. He was taken up so much by that Mandira dance that he brought one family to Shantiniketan to teach the students this Mandira dance. And it was father, mother and their daughter. So the daughter was sitting in Amrit Puja and she did the Mandira dance. And the parents, one sang and one played the dholak. And it is then that Rabindranath Tagore composed that song, Dui Hate Gale Mondirache Shorai Bache. And Balakrishna Menon, being a student of Guru Gopinath, he had seen the Mandira dance and he put in Guru Gopinath style of steps and he redid the Mandira.
So this was something which we used to do as youngsters on, you know, every festival, every dance we used to do the Mandira dance. A lot of it. So I recreated this and we hope to keep presenting to the Vasarotsavam and waiting for
Mandatam, but I couldn't teach them.
and the peacock. Iconic peacock is what we are now going to do. That's something.
Oh,
That's very small.
I have a peacock dance, yeah?
Yeah.
I have
That's
never
what she
seen
said.
a,
She would have fun.
I have never seen a peacock dance like that. Never.
So that's something
I
that
saw
we
the
are planning
peacock
to
costume
bring
in the
back.
museum. Guru Gopinath has a
He used
museum
to
in his
wear it.
So when you know this movement which I've seen her do, she must have been in her late 20s there. I've never seen it repeated.
No, we also did Ramayan NCLT
Yes.
with Balakrishna Menon. So a lot of
that is-
movements were there. So you know the Jatayu. These are things, and you put in so the whole thing of, you know, I can't do it with the sari, but putting full leg out, down, and then we used to turn and then get up on that leg, and then this was Jatayu's flight. So
We used to wear the peacock feather.
Yes, I saw it
He
actually.
had our fingers like, no, it was there and we did everything.
Yes.
And after that we put in our finger, we went round like that and suddenly we stood like that. And it was very, very spectacular. And that is the one, he had a dream. One lady came and told him in this dream, she thinks that was Mukambika. Because he was a follower
It's a
of
Bhagavati Devi.
I was
Very
very
famous temple in Kerala, Mukambika. Can I relate?
And after seeing Guruji's dance, this is the poem, 2-line, 3-line poem that he had composed about it.
Guru Gopinath. Thou art our dreams. Thou art our dreams, rich heritage of wings. A garden of light to our vein of little sighs. A wizard at whose feet are heaven. These the swings and lilts of the heaving deep's soul harmony.
Everyone who made the effort to come to
Come in this inclement weather.
I mean, that so many people who message saying, friends who said I came out and got completely drenched. 2 girls showed me they came totally drenched. Yes.
Why did you use any Gopinath talas to ask? Because you mentioned all Carnatic Panjali talas for the Kalashi. I was just wondering why they didn't possibly, because it felt, Gandhari, all of it had that.
And they put Aditalam, they didn't use Chempada.
When you were doing the
They didn't use Chempada.
they could have used Chempada. I was thinking, and even 5 in the 10 in the Champathalas,
yes.
Panchari, Vechittum double.
Yes.
I'm just thinking, I don't
No, not at all. See,
Yes. It's very difficult.
And rhythm.
And all the she did superb.
I couldn't read the Panda. I came back.
All these are skills that can be
This is a complete movement. I said,
all can be brought to the vocabulary together.
But we have most of it. You see all of them. These are more connected.
Yes.
More. But other than that,
That's not
this one.
So they already learned this. So this kind of thing.
whether did he change it after going to Kerala?
You say how